So this past Saturday night, CM Punk fought for the second time against Mike Jackson at UFC 225 in Chicago. And unlike the first fight, when he fought Mickey Gall, this fight went the distance, all 3 rounds. However, the result remained the same. CM Punk lost for the second time. He's now 0-2. And not only that, but the fight was atrocious. The fight was terrible. The fight was what some people are calling the most embarrassing, the most atrocious, the lowest of lows in the history of the UFC. Hell, even the sport of MMA, this fight had no business being on pay-per-view, on the main card. This should have been on Fight Pass per Dana White after the fight even took place. Dana White even said on an interview that his only regret was not putting this fight on the Fight Pass prelims, which is like early in the day where it's like an empty fucking arena, mostly, right? And here's the thing. To those people that are in shock that he lost again, that are like, how can this be? How can he lose again? Why do you feel that way? What made you really think that CM Punk at age 39, with no experience in combat sports whatsoever, was going to go in there after knowing what happened the first time? What made you think he was going to go out there and win? And again, this video is not for I'm not trying to insult CM Punk. I'm not trying to bash CM Punk, unlike other people out there that are doing on social media, a la Corey Graves, okay? I'm not here to do that, even though I think what Corey Graves is doing is kind of stupid, it's kind of dumb, it's ridiculous, but it is what it is. So I saw the fight on Saturday, and here's the thing. I had mixed feelings about this, because here's the thing about it. I'm a wrestling fan as well as I am a fan of combat sports, whether it's boxing or MMA, right? Yeah, it's rare to see that, right? Oh my God, how can that be for some people? I guarantee you that. I got friends also on both sides of the fence. I got friends that are wrestling fans, and I got friends that are fans of just combat sports, boxing, MMA, and shit like that, right? My friends that are into combat sports, they're saying how it's a joke, how, there's people out there, and I can understand, I completely understand the position that they're coming from, how there's people out there that are scratching and clawing, busting their ass in the gym, night in and night out, trying to get their names out there, fighting in these local, promotions, again, just to get their name out there, recognition, hoping, maybe praying that a UFC scout or how even a Bellator scout is watching this or watching them fight him or her and maybe could get signed to a deal, right? While this guy, CM Punk, who has already a name from elsewhere, being the WWE, because he has that WWE name, just gets a free pass to fight on the UFC pay-per-view, not once, but twice, and fucking lose. Not only that, but training in one of the top gyms in the world with Duke Rufus and Rufus Sport in Milwaukee, right? The same gym that trains Anthony Showtime Pettis, Tyron Woodley, to name a few. And he loses twice. And I got friends from the wrestling side that are saying how, yes, he lost twice, but you know what? The guy been through so much shit, after leaving or / quitting, depending who you talk to, WWE, right? The lawsuit trial that he won literally the week of his fight, and how he had to overcome all that. So in their eyes, again, they're saying that this is like a moral win. Listen, my position, and again, I understand that too. I understand it, To me, a moral win, I would have let it slide the first time when he fought Mickey Gall. Here's the thing about it, okay? This fight was embarrassing. Whether you're a wrestling fan, whether you're an MMA fan, this fight is embarrassing. If you're a wrestling fan, let's be real about it. This was any other fighter. This the kind of shit that a lot of wrestling fans would bash the UFC for. But because it's CM Punk, it gets a pass. It gets a pass. Now, granted, this wasn't fucking Kimbo Slice versus Dada 5000 bad to that degree. or this wasn't Tito Ortiz versus Stephan Bonner from Bellator bad, but this is in the category. It has to be. To be fair, CM Punk in the second fight won one round. He only won one round. That's the first round because of the fucking takedown that he took, that he gave the guy in the first round, nearly near the end of the round. But after that, CM Punk looked gassed. He looked like he was, again, just on autopilot from the second round all the way till the end. The guy had a bad footwork. His head movement was off. He was just throwing sloppy punches. And there's the thing. Here's the thing about it, okay? If you're training in one of the top gyms in the world, again, with Duke Rufus and Rufus Sports in Milwaukee, you should not be fighting like that. And what amazed me, and again, maybe because they didn't show it, how his corner didn't give him the right directions in this fight. And it's terrible that the guy that he fought, Mike Jackson, is a fucking bum. Now, granted, compare both of them side by side, Mike Jackson should have won this shit flying colors. He won by decision, but bro, he could have finished the shit. And what really irked a lot of people was the fact that this guy, Mike Jackson, was showboating most of the fight, knowing he could have won, knowing that he could have finished the fight in the second round when he was literally in full guard, while CM Punk was off on his back and not doing anything. It got to a point where Dana White, even on an interview, said, I don't know what the fuck this guy was doing before fighting for the UFC, but he had to stick to that. Try to get back into that. So a wasted opportunity for Mike Jackson. Which, again, is embarrassing. Fucking embarrassing. Now, it's funny, too. On commentary, Joe Rogan referenced the fact that there's a possibility that there's a conspiracy. Or maybe Mike Jackson was paid off to, not finish CM Punk. And I would not be surprised. I really would not be surprised. Now, listen, I can understand the UFC's position here. Hey, I can understand the UFC's position where, hey, the pay-per-view buys have been shit. They're not Conor numbers anymore because Conor isn't fighting. Or hell, not even Ronda numbers or GSP numbers. So they're going to Chicago. They need people to buy tickets to show up to the event or get people to watch on pay-per-view. So let's bring a guy, in this case CM Punk, who's from Chicago, right? And let's be real about it. It was cool to see him walk out to the cage to Cult of Personality for the second time and have people chanting CM Punk in Chicago. I think this was the first time in years where people chanted CM Punk and he was actually in the building. Unlike when you go to other WWE shows where you're sitting there near the middle of the show and people throw out the CM Punk chant, which gets annoying, which literally become the most annoying chant in wrestling. Now, where does CM Punk go from here? That's the question people are probably wondering, right? Where the fuck does he go from here? He's 0-2. He's 39 years old. I think, honestly, this is the last we've seen of CM Punk in MMA. I hope it is. For his sake, for his family's sake, for his friends' sake, I hope it's the end. I would not be surprised if Bellator, because Bellator at times can be very desperate as well, will throw up some shitload of money to have a freaking mediocre fight. Would I be surprised? That is if he still wants to pursue MMA. Listen, I never said, hey, it's dumb of him to do it. Again, if he wants to fight MMA, that's fine. But have him fight in the UFC, that was a reach. That was like, I get why he did it because of the name and all that stuff. And again, the UFC probably thought, hey, it's like Brock. I mean, it's not like it was Brock Lesnar where Brock had the wrestling background, collegiate All-American, Division I All-American, all that, right? Where when he fought, he just fucking demolished people. Two different things here. Two fucking different things. But I'll be honest, if I'm CM Punk at this point in juncture, I know he said it in previous interviews leading up to this fight that he's done with pro wrestling. He's not gonna wrestle anymore. I remember him saying the same thing on the Colt Cabana podcast years ago when that podcast dropped, where he talked about the time leading up to him leaving WWE, where, he's not going to wrestle anymore, nor Ring of Honor, nor TNA, or I'm sorry, Impact Wrestling at the time, or TNA at the time, or Ring of Honor, New Japan, anything like that. He's done. I'll be real about it. I think for a lot of wrestling fans, myself included, we would love to see CM Punk wrestle again. We would love to hear him make that walk to the ring and have that killer match. Because let's be real about it. There's a shitload of money for him to make right now in pro wrestling outside of WWE. I'm not saying him going to fucking Impact Wrestling. Again, anything can happen. Anything can fucking happen. Okay? Will not be opposed to it by no means at all. But let's keep it 100. He's not going back to WWE. It's not happening. He could probably do Ring of Honor, maybe Impact Wrestling if they throw him the right amount of money, or maybe New Japan, or if not, again, just go the independent route. I guarantee you, there's a lot of indie feds out there, a lot of promoters that are gonna throw him a shitload of money just to have him wrestle again. I'm pretty sure people were doing that already, but he declined. Now you better hope, you motherflowers better hope that the All In rumors of him being All In become reality. Imagine CM Punk wrestling at All In. I doubt it'll be against Kenny Omega now, but I thought if Kenny wasn't the champion going into the show, maybe Punk versus Kenny Omega, maybe CM Punk versus Cody, or maybe a CM Punk versus, I don't know, an Okada. Just throwing names out there. I'm not saying it's going to happen, all right? But it's a possibility. And I guess a wish of a wrestling fan, but we'll see. But again, I think at the end of the day, CM Punk, his MMA run, in my opinion, is done. It should be done. He tried. We'll give him that. He tried. He went out there. Let's be real about it. CM Punk did something that a lot of people in their fucking lifetime would have never done. It's one thing to say, I want to do something, I wish to do something and shit, but when push comes to shove, a lot of times we don't fucking do it. This guy, again, at 39 years old, at the time that he left WWE, in his late 30s, what have you, going into combat sports or MMA with no experience prior, right? Going into the creme de la creme of MMA. That's like if you're, I guess, a soccer fan, right? I guess if you're a fan of soccer or football, right? And you want to play soccer, but you have no soccer experience, whether you played in high school and college, and you go straight to play for Real Madrid. Or I guess, again, if you're a wrestling fan, and we've seen this before, we've seen this before, where people, again, have no experience whatsoever, and they go straight to WWE. Well, there's other people out there that are, again, in wrestling, scratching and clawing to get their names out there on the independent circuit, wrestling every single weekend, doing these crazy spots, hoping and praying that a WWE scout, a scout from Impact Wrestling, a scout from New Japan, or a scout from Ring of Honor is watching so they can get them signed. The same thing happens as well, But again, I just think it's done. It's over with. It's time for CM Punk to just simply move on from all of this. Simply move on from all of this. Again, I'm not taking anything away from the guy. The guy showed a lot of heart, all the fuck you want. But at the same time, this was embarrassing. And I do not want to see him fight again. I really do not. If he wants to continue on MMA, maybe, get a job in the UFC as a commentator, something like that. Or on the FS1 team. I don't fucking know. Something like that, Or maybe, do media. We'll see. Or maybe get into acting. And I know he's still doing comic books. Maybe get into acting. You know what I mean? Something like that. But we'll see where all this goes. Guys, give me your thoughts in the comment threads of this video. Your thoughts on CM Punk, his fight from this past Saturday night. Where do you see him going from here? Do you think he'll be all in, if you will, come September 1st in Chicago at the Sears Center? Or do you see him going a different route in acting, or, again, maybe in the UFC as a commentator or something like that? Let me know in the comment thread of this video. Follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. I'll be back later on today for the Raw review. I will be doing my New Japan Dominion review tomorrow at the latest, all right? So, again, if you're new to this channel, hit that sub button. Be notified when I drop a video. And as always, motherflowers, hate, comment, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all. Peace.